The night of May 22nd of 2021 was one of the lowest moments of my life. The following morning, I went to church with my wife, and that was really a turning point for me. Everything changed after that. When I was around 5 years old, I was introduced to cigarettes and alcohol, pornography. I was the baby of the family. I really wanted to spend time with my brothers and my cousins, and that was stuff that they were all getting into. And, you know, I thought it was cool. I wanted to be like them. I quickly learned how I could be like that around them, but in front of my parents, my grandparents, and everybody. I was this good kid. I went to church, and you know, when they weren't looking, it was, how fast can I get a cigarette? When can I start drinking? When I was around 13, I was arrested for the first time. We had taken my friend's mom's car, and we got pulled over, and so that was my first time getting arrested with marijuana. Fast forward, I was 16. I was introduced to cocaine, and pretty soon after that, I was living on my own. I was selling drugs, and I didn't care who knew it. I would, dabble with church once in a while, but I really just blocked that out. I didn't want to have any part of it. Further down this path of sin, there was multiple drug use, whether it was marijuana or it was cocaine. I would go to strip clubs and really didn't feel bad about it. I wanted to do me, and this is what I thought I wanted to be. It was like that till I was about 20, and that's when I met my wife. Then I wanted to show that I was a good father, I was a good husband, but as soon as I could get away or be on my own, it was right back down that path. So the weekend of May 22nd of 2021, we call it Guys Weekend, and it was basically we'd go open up the camper for about 15 minutes and then just party the whole weekend. That Saturday night, we had went to a strip club. We got back, and some events led to a fight with my brother-in-law, and that was really my lowest point. I just was hitting him, and I had pulled back, and I was really gonna hit him, and it was gonna be everything I had. And before I did, it was like God grabbed my hand and was like, no, don't do that. And I feel that God pulled my hand from really hurting him. So later on that night, I really didn't sleep too much. I could feel everything that I've done, all the fighting and the drinking and the drugs, and I just couldn't believe how far I'd let myself go. I went home and got with my wife and told her what happened, and she could see how upset I was, and she was like, well, let's get up and go to church. So we went to church that day. That morning, the service was what Sodom does to you. And from the time it started to the end of the service, it was like it was completely about me. What I had done, I had totally gave into the sin. I had totally been in Sodom, and as much as I wanted to hide it, I couldn't hide it anymore. And God was convicting me. I could feel it. Just the more that he talked, the more that my eyes would swell up, and I knew that he was talking to me. And at the end of the service, when John was standing there asking if anybody needed prayer or needed to come up, I couldn't do that. What would my wife think about it? What would my kids think about it? I didn't want to embarrass them. And I was just standing crying, and my wife looked at me and was like, "Do you need to go up there?" And I was like, yeah, I do. And I went up and I started talking to John, and I had just really broke down and told him everything, everything I'd been through, everything I'd done. And so we prayed, and I confessed my sins to God and asked for Christ to save me. I realized I needed to be around other Christ followers, that if I continued to be around sinners and people drinking and doing drugs all the time, then I was just going to fall right back into it. I found the men's prayer group, and it was just amazing. I walked in, they asked me my story, I told them, and they all right then got up and prayed for me. And that's something I really very rarely miss, because I just need to be there. I know if I wouldn't have went to Christ, I would have lost everything. I would have lost my family. I would have lost my job. I would have lost everything. But Christ didn't let that happen. He knew when it was time for me, and that's when he pushed me. As I look through my life at all that he's been involved with, he's taken care of me the whole time. That's why I'm still here, and that's why I'm able to give this message.